Hey folks, welcome to the Garden Canvas. You know, it's January right now, it's winter, and there's not a lot going on. There's not a lot growing right now. But this is a good time of year to do some things that are necessary to make your garden more healthy. And one of the things you can do in the off season, in the cold months while plants are dormant, is prune and shape them. And so we have different ways that we can prune plants. Now when it comes to pruning, there are two different styles of pruning shear, or pruning heads I should say. We have what we call the anvil pruning head, and that is this one right here. Basically this is a Corona. This is made by Corona, and this has a blade here and a flat anvil piece on this end. And so when this, and I'll bring this a little closer so you can see it, but when the blade closes down, it closes down onto this anvil, and that's what makes the cut. This is great for dead wood, but this is not ideal for using on live tissue. So if you have a live plant that you're trying to shape and prune, this is not the choice that you want to use. You want to use a bypass pruner. Like I said, this is good for dead wood, but a bypass pruner is designed a little different. And that's what this is. So you have a blade here, and then you have a curved piece here that the blade basically scissor cuts across and bypasses this piece. So this holds this curve here holds the wood or the woody stem inside, while the bypass blade cuts through and makes a nice clean cut without crushing the wood or the tissue, which is what an anvil pruner would do if you used it on live tissue. It's going to crush the stem, and it's not going to be healthy for the plant. So you want to use a bypass pruning head. Now, that's also the case when it comes to hand pruners. There are anvil hand pruners and bypass hand pruners. So I'm going to show you a couple of brands that I have. I have a couple brand new pruners. Before that, I want to show you one that I've been using for a few years. This is by Corona, and this is a classic Corona. This is a 7-inch. This is actually a little bit small for my hand, but this is a bypass pruner. But Corona makes a good tool, and this one is very basic. It does not have any ergonomic handles or anything like that. It has a clasp right here in the middle that you can release, and then when you're done using it, you just basically close that clasp and it holds the pruner back together. This also does come in larger styles as well, which would be better for my hand. Now recently I was gifted a set of Felco 2s, and this is one of the most popular pruners among gardeners in the United States, and this is a Felco 2 right here. It's very well made in Sweden, and has a tab right here that you release to open the pruner, and it is spring loaded. The blades are completely replaceable. You can actually take this off and take the pruners apart and buy replacement blades for the pruner, and it closes back with that tab right there. Now a set of Felcos will run about $55. Felco 2s will run about $55, so it's not a cheap tool. It's very well made, but it is expensive, and you know, not everyone wants to spend $55 on a set of pruners, but this is a tool that will last you. If you do want to look at finding a pruner that's good quality, that will not cost as much, there are actually some knockoffs of the Felcos, and this is one by AM Leonard, I believe, and as you can see, it's very, very similar to the Felco 2s. Of course, it has an orange handle. You know, it's a decent pruner. I can tell you it does have a very distinct, different feel from the Felco 2s, but it does look almost identical. Now when you look at them up close, you can see some slight differences in the way it's made, but this is another way of getting a similar tool to the Felco 2s in a smaller price point. I think this one runs about $35, but you can find them cheaper in other brands. But anyway, I would recommend the Felco 2s. But there's also another tool and a brand called Bahco, and that's Bahco. This is a French company. I had some familiarity with this company because I work in the industrial world, and this company also makes a lot of other hand tools, wrenches, pliers, and they're also very well known for making really high quality bolt cutters. This is made of Swedish steel, It's a very basic tool. There's not a lot of bells and whistles, but it has a really nice, comfortable handle. It's all steel here, and the way you unleash the handle is to use this clasp on the bottom. And this is a bypass pruner as well, but very, very simple. Nothing elaborate to this. To close it back up, you just simply put the clasp back on the handle, and then you can put that in your holster and carry it around with you. Now, one of the differences in these two, as you can see, this is a little bit shorter, but this does come in a longer pruner as well. This is an 8-inch. It also comes in a 9-inch. It's a little bit more narrow, a little bit more lighter weight, but very, very high quality. And you're still going to get that Swedish steel blade, which is also replaceable as well. You may find these in garden centers. You may find them online for sure. But I do think the Bahco has a good feel to it, and I know their quality and other tools, so I'm sure it's going to be good. But we're going to put these two to the test to kind of give you an idea of what you're looking at. One of the main reasons that I'm going to compare these is because, again, this is going to run you about $55, and this is going to run you about $25. And this is going to be a much better quality pruner than if you went to your big box store to pick up, you know, another brand that you might pay 20 or 25 bucks for, or maybe more. This is going to be a high quality, and you'll see the difference. Okay, so we're going to do some pruning. I have a couple of viburnums that need some winter pruning, so we're going to go ahead and try that. Alright, so we've got a viburnum here. This is a double file viburnum. It's needing a little bit of work, needs some cleaning up in here, some branches rubbing across, and some sprouts at the bottom we can clean up right down here. And we've also got some branches crossing right here as well, so that's not good. In fact, you can even see, and this is why pruning is so necessary, you can see right here how this limb has nearly merged with this trunk, and so this is going to come out. So we're going to give the first test to our Felco. Okay, we're going to take that branch out with the Felcos. Try to get it just above the branch collar right there. Got another branch rubbing right here. So I'm going to take that again because this is going to rub against this trunk as well. So that one's going to come off also. And this practice will help reduce disease issues and damage to the plants. Take off this water sprout down here. Okay, so it cut really well. Very sharp blade. The Felco had a very nice feel, and the handle has a good, comfortable feel too. All right, I see another branch really similar right here. It's crossing, and right there you can see it's actually done some damage to that trunk. So we're going to take out that branch right about there, and we're going to do that this time with the Bahco. All right, so I've got the clasp opened up. Not the easiest thing to get in here with a camera. Now the handle on the Bahco is a little bit slick, I will say that. Really, the Bahco just went right through it. Here's a smaller stem here. This is going to be very routine. Alright, let's try some cuts over here. We'll go with the Felco 2 to start with. You see this scarring right here? This is because of this branch rubbing against that in the wind. So we're going to take that branch out. So I've used both of the cutters, both of the pruners. I've used the Bahco and the Felco. For the size and the way the handle fits, I prefer the Felco. The Bahco is really nice. It actually cuts very well. I actually like the feel of the handle, but using it inside of a shrub or a tree or a tight spot, I found that my hand tended to slip on this slick handle, even though it's very comfortable. So I think for my own personal use, I'll probably slightly prefer the Felco over the Bahco. I do find sometimes the lever opening clasp on the Felco can sometimes get closed on its own, and then I have to just release it again to get it to work or to get it to open back up. One other major difference I did not mention earlier was the blades on the Bahco versus the Felco. They both have reversible blades, but the Felco has a stainless steel blade and the Bahco has a carbon steel blade as well. So this is going to rust if you don't keep it treated with some type of oil. So I do recommend that you do that. Now, carbon steel blades are very good. Matter of fact, it'll be less brittle than a stainless steel blade, but you will experience some rusting from this if you don't keep it taken care of. So I found it to be a nice pruner, but I think for me, I might would order a 9-inch for my hand. This is an 8-inch, and I believe this is a 9-inch Felco. So I would probably recommend going with a 9-inch for someone my size or my hand size, just to be a little bit more comfortable and get a better grip. Bahco does make other styles of pruners. They have a higher end line of pruners as well. They'll have some of the ergonomic styles with plastic handles and some with rotating handles for to prevent arthritis or issues and things like that. But they do have a good tool line. I highly recommend the Bahcos, and if you're looking for a high quality pruner at a lower price, about half the cost of a Felco, you can't go wrong with this Bahco. I really believe that. It's a good pruner, and I think this will last a very long time with this solid steel handle. Now, I did want to mention too, Bahco does make grape snips or smaller snips for using for deadheading and fruit pruning and things like that. It does have a plastic handle. I'll put the number for this one on the description as well. This is again going to have that same carbon steel blade. This is going to have a much lighter feel than their regular pruners because of that plastic handle, but it's the same carbon steel in the blade. So that's really what you're wanting, is a high quality blade to prune small items or deadhead, things like that. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. I'll be probably using this a lot, and I'll be putting that in my trusty dual holster with my soil knife. Be looking for a video on that soon. I'm going to be telling you about two of my favorite newest garden tools that I've been turned on to, and I can't wait to share those two with you as well. And so stay on the lookout for that. I really appreciate you watching. Make sure you hit subscribe and hit the bell for notifications, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care, guys.